All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my very special New Year's Eve edition of Hate Live Podcast. Today's December 31st, 2018, the very final day of 2018. I'm Darkside Phil, and I wholeheartedly welcome you to my podcast. I guess with an asterisk next to it. I've been very sick, and I apologize to everyone because this last week has been a shitty one for me. Just being very honest, you can hear it in my voice. My head is congested, and it's been very stressful recently, and it just led to me getting sick and a really bad cold that lasted so far a week and is still lingering, even though I'm basically just having the leftover symptoms. And I do feel energetic again, which is good. I know that I'm not 100%. And this in particular, this podcast today was supposed to be held a week ago. It was supposed to be my Christmas Eve podcast as part of a full 3 straight days of kind of Christmas holiday themed stuff. As you can see, we have all the holiday decorations still up in the office, but this is it for them. They're going down after tonight. Tomorrow, things will be back to normal. Cookie, the Christmas pooch, will go away for the year, and we'll probably see him next year. The lights are coming down, and we get basically back to a new year of content for all of you. But it sucks because there was a whole week that I had planned of streams and everything that I was so sick I was not able to stream. And again, I got to apologize for that. And this podcast is going to cover a lot of topics. First, I want to talk about my whole Christmas experience this month of December 2018, what I did to celebrate the holiday, what I actually did on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, what presents I received, and stuff like that. Okay, so basically what I want to do is have a big Christmas segment where I talk about my experience of Christmas, and then I want to go to the stream chat. We've got a big group of people in stream chat raring to go, start waiting to interact with me today. Okay, they want to jump in and be a part of this podcast. Actually, I just saw Muxie is up in the upper left. I'm going to change those notifications to the bottom left, so that they don't, go over the leaderboard here, which I'm going to update in just a minute. But yeah, the first segment is going to be all about Christmas, my Christmas experience, and then interacting with those in stream chat to find out about theirs. Okay. Then the next segment is going to be about Infinity War. I know, random, right? But I finally got to see Avengers Infinity War last night. People have asked me about this all year long. It's not going to be a long segment, but I just want to give my opinions about the movie. And I have a couple of kind of burning questions that I want to at least air publicly about this movie that I don't know if anyone can answer them, but I just want to kind of talk a little bit about it. Then there's going to be a big segment about the 2018 recap. What I want to do is talk about last year, how this year went, both personally and professionally for me. Personally, you guys don't hear a lot because one of the major changes I made in 2018 was to actively separate my personal life from my public persona as a live streamer and content creator, because I really felt that my life last year reached an all-time low when so much personal shit just erupted into negativity and shit all over the internet that I couldn't take it anymore, okay? I said, the more I keep private, the better. And boy, let me tell you, did that work as a philosophy 100% this year. Kat and I have had such a good time together this year that I am so pleased that I chose to do what I did, okay? But I'm going to talk about that and let you know how we're doing and all kinds of stuff like that. Then I want to do a segment about professionally how things went in 2018. How did the streams change and improve? How did YouTube go? What about Patreon? What about Teespring? Things that almost I never talk about that often. I want to kind of give you guys a cumulative update on how everything has gone this year, and let you know professionally how things are going. Okay. Then what I want to talk about in the final segment of the show is 2019. Okay. And what I mean by that is in 2019, there's going to be some things going on. All right. That are going to be interesting. Number one, I'm going to go through a big segment where I'm talking about all the game releases for 2019. And should be great in order to talk about that stuff and tell you all the games that I'm planning on covering and everything coming up in 2019. That's number one. And some other personal stuff that may be happening in 2019 as well, okay? Then after all of that, I mean, who knows how long all these segments are going to take. If I'm feeling up to it, okay, I may do an open Q&A segment with the stream chat and just open it up for a while. But as you can hear, I'm still suffering from my cold. So I don't know how long my throat's going to hold out. I mean, I have drinks. I have lozenges if I need them. Like, I have everything here to try to aid myself to talk as long as I can. But there's no guarantees when you're sick. You know what I mean? So we're going to see what happens. All right, we're going to see what happens and play it by ear and go from there. A couple of shout-outs over here. First of all, BattleDuck9000 did the top tip of the day at $5.99. It says, other streamers also get attacked by trolls, but they either have time or money they can afford to throw at the problem to counter it, something you can't afford to do in your current situation. P.S. Happy New Year. Maybe better than 2018. I mean, yeah, I have no time or money to throw at anything. Let's be honest here. I spend all of my time streaming every day. I have not had more than a single day off this year, except for illness, which isn't time off. It's time to suffer from an illness. Or one other time this year where I took a chunk of days off. That was it. In all of 2018, I took like one segment of a few days off, and that was it. Every day I'm here streaming for you guys, you know. And not to say that I don't enjoy it. I do. But it takes its toll. And I'm a one-man show. I always have been. I don't make enough money to hire people to tackle trolling and do, you know what I mean? I can't hire moderators. I can't hire people to do this kind of stuff. So it is what it is. But, you know, thank you for your support, Battle Duck. I do my best, and I hope that you guys at least enjoy what I do put out there, okay? The Pwn Cake Charity says, will you talk about what you've done with Cat Fun Tales and all for Christmas and everything? Yeah, I already said that's going to be part of this Christmas segment. And Scatman cheered and said, is it Ricola? No, it is not. These are Hall's Breezers. These are lozenges that help your throat, but they don't have any medicine in them. Because the ones with medicine, if you have more than like 2 in an hour, you get sick to your stomach. So these are just generic ones that you could just have all the time. And it's kind of like a tasty hard candy for someone who needs to talk a lot, okay? Okay. So, let's start the show with a discussion about Christmas. Because this show is supposed to be a Christmas Eve special, alright? But because now it's a New Year's Eve special, and by the way, I guess I should say, Happy New Year to anyone who already is the New Year. For some people it is. If it's not, well, Happy New Year's Eve. Hopefully you'll all be enjoying a nice celebration of New Year's today. Some people have already asked me, how am I celebrating New Year's? I'm not really. Kat is working tonight. So when she comes home from work, we'll probably maybe have a drink together, watch some stuff together, and just relax. We don't have anything special planned because we didn't have the night off or whatever. We could go do anything. You know what I mean? But that's life. And it's fine. At least we got to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day together, which I'm about to actually explain in this first segment, which is going to be the Christmas segment, okay? So for those who don't know, all right, I love the Christmas season. I absolutely love this time of year because everything gets festive and jolly. I get to decorate. I get to watch tons of Christmas movies and Christmas specials, and I just love it. I just love the vibe this year. Some people hate it because, like, man, the holidays, you get inundated with Christmas music. You get inundated with it, and it's shoved down your throat, and I hate it. And I'll be honest, when I was younger and a lot more cynical of a person, I kind of hated it too. But as I got older, I started to love it a lot more. It's a special time of the year. It really is. So, what did I do to celebrate Christmas this year? Well, first of all, I decorated the house, okay? And basically, what did we do? We put up some nice things. Most of the stuff we decorated the house with is all old stuff that I had from previous years because I don't have a lot of money, you know? So all the stuff you see behind you is all from previous years. I didn't buy a single new light, not a single new decoration. In fact, the only new addition that we had this year was Cookie the Christmas Pooch here, who ended up being, I think he was like 60% off. So it was like, I think it was like $6 at, you know, one of these local stores to add to this. Everything else is old. And, you know, a lot of the things, like we have nice icicle lights that go down our banister in the hallway. We had those from previous years. Christmas tree this year, almost all entirely old decorations. It's a silver and gold motif we did this year. If you didn't see it, I put a picture of it on my Instagram about a month ago when we did it right after Thanksgiving. First time ever I've done a pure silver and gold motif for a Christmas tree. I've never done that before. And that was really neat. So it's a mixture of gold and silver ornaments all on that tree, which is really nice. A few other things like these lights that my parents had bought me years ago. There's these ceramic lights that either look like snowmen or Santa Claus, and they have this color changing light on the inside. Those are out. and a few other things like a little birds and stuff. You know, just a little things, snow globes that I had from previous years. Put them out around the house, which is really nice. And I have candles from previous years. These aren't like new things I bought, but these candles that I had, that I don't burn that often. I usually only burn them around holiday time anyway. So I've been burning different like holiday homecoming and one that smells like a fir tree to make the house smell like a holiday kind of a theme, which is really nice. One thing that we did, obviously we don't have money to go out and spend on like getting, let's get Christmas place settings. You know, ridiculous. Like, it's funny, you go to like a store like pt1 Imports and you go in there, it's like, look at this amazing, you know, plates and stuff for Christmas, and they cost like $100. Like, Jesus Christ, who can afford this stuff? We went to like Costco, and for like $5-6, we got like, I think, a Christmas paper plates that we ate on all month, you know, stuff like, just little simple stuff like that, that we did over the course of the month. So pretty nice. And Kat has a Pandora app that she has installed on her phone, but she installed it on our TV, and we started listening to Pandora music, and Pandora has Christmas stations on it. So all this month we would listen to nice Christmas music in the house and stuff like that. When we're driving around on our day off once a week, we would listen to some Christmas music, stuff like that. We completely forgot this year to put out any kind of outdoor decorations. Last year we had not only these nice big light up candy canes, but we had a Christmas pooch that was on our lawn. We completely forgot. We were so stressed and just overworked because she was working tons of hours for the holidays. You guys know how much I was working. We completely forgot about it. It was funny because our neighbors started putting up Christmas lights, and we were like, did we forget something? Like, oh shit. But the thing is, where I live, there's a rule. You cannot have Christmas decorations out past the first of the year. It's considered past the holiday season, and you're required by our rules that we have to live here, you have to take it down. So by the time we realized, oh shit, we forgot to put the stuff outside, it was too late. Like, what's the point? It's only like 2 weeks left, so what's the point, right? So, ended up not doing that kind of stuff. Now, some things that I did that are Christmas traditions for me. I got some Torroni. You may not know what Torroni is. It is an Italian nougat candy that is traditional for the holidays. And when I used to be in Connecticut with my parents, when I was growing up, it was a thing we did every single year where my mom would get a big box of Torroni and we'd eat it all month. Now, there's different kinds, there's different flavors. There's vanilla, orange, and lemon. I've seen other flavors, like I've seen chocolate and other stuff, but I've only had those 3 flavors before. And so I ordered a box of this, from Amazon way early, like it was like late November, and Kat had it for the first time and liked it a lot. And I was like, wow, I haven't had this in like few years. I loved it. I was like, man, this is so good. And I had some of those over the course of the month. What is it? It's nougat, chewy nougat with almonds inside, and then 2 crispy wafers on the outside. So it's pretty unique. It's not like any candy you would see normally in a store. It's an Italian delicacy, not expensive, by the way, at all. And it was one of the cool things that I did this month. And also, panettone, which is Italian sweetbread. That also is a holiday tradition. Got a loaf of that off Amazon that was really cheap. It was like cheaper than anything I saw in any store. What it is a big rounded loaf of bread that stands up like this. It's kind of weird. It doesn't look like a normal loaf of bread. And inside of it, there's raisins and candied pieces of citrus like orange. So I had a panettone. I had a few pieces. I didn't get to finish it. The problem with panettone, once you open it and cut it goes bad within a few days. So I was having like a piece a day, and within like 4 days it was going bad. I was like, well, what can you do, right? So that's a panettone. Outside of that, not too much. Not too much at all. I'm trying to think of anything else we did around the house. Not really. I think once or twice during the month of December, we went to like a Starbucks and got a peppermint mocha frappuccino because that's the thing they only have during the holiday season. And, not that we're coffee fanatics or whatever, but it was something nice to do. But outside of that, that was about it, okay? Okay, so, that's pretty much what we did during the course of the month. Now, Christmas Eve. My plans for Christmas Eve was that I was supposed to do a Christmas Eve podcast, which is this podcast I'm doing right now, and was hoping that it would be basically kind of a big celebratory event where I'd be able to raise a lot of funds to help me with my bills in January and kind of a big year-end push for positivity and everything. And then when that was done, because Kat also had to work on Christmas Eve, but she was getting out early. So the plan was we were going to go to maybe a nicer, like Asian style or Chinese style restaurant on Christmas Eve and go out to a nice dinner together because we knew we were going to want to cook on Christmas Day. We didn't want to cook back to back. So we were going to do that. But what ended up happening was I was so sick. Like I woke up that day and man, I was so sick. I was just like, my throat had swollen to the point where I could barely like breathe. I was looking in the mirror and it was completely inflamed, bright red. Oh, it looked disgusting. And I couldn't, if I swallowed, it felt like someone was stabbing me. It was just really bad. Like, there's no way I can even talk today. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do? How am I going to do a podcast? There was no way I could do a podcast. So I ended up basically saying I can't do this. And slept in. Kat was working. And when she came home, she was like, oh my God, you look horrible. And I was like, I know, but, you know, we made these plans. So all we did, we found a place that was local, that was a lot fat, like basically like fast food Chinese. And we just did takeout quick and then just came home at 8 because I was in no condition to eat out. I was so sick. And it was cheap, you know, which was good. And it was nice, but at the same time, it was nothing like what we had planned to do all month. We were like looking forward to this. You know, and then it kind of got screwed over because of my illness. So then Christmas Day was, well, first of all, Christmas Eve night, we ended up watching, oh man, what the hell did we watch? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. I swear we watched something that was Christmas on Christmas Eve night, and now I can't remember what the hell it was. Because during the course of the month, we watched a lot of Christmas stuff. We watched Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, A Christmas Story, The Santa Claus, Jingle All the Way, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Claymation Christmas Special, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. A lot of Christmas stuff we watched during the course of the month. Surprisingly enough, I watched a few things myself some nights when Kat was at work and we didn't have time to watch together. So I watched things like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and probably like one or two other things. But I didn't get to watch all the Christmas stuff that I usually do this year. So I actually watched less Christmas stuff than I usually do during the course of December. But we watched something. I was so out of it. I can't even tell you what we watched on Christmas Eve. That's how out of it I was. I was that sick. So then Christmas Day when I woke up, what sucked was we had a whole day planned. Like I was going to wake up and make us a nice breakfast. And then we were going to relax, watch Christmassy stuff during the day. Then we were going to do baking, holiday baking. And then later in the day, we had this meal plan that we wanted to make for Christmas. And we didn't know if I was going to be up to it because I was so sick. I ended up sleeping until like almost noon on Christmas Day because I was feeling so sick. And I woke up and I still felt terrible, but I was like, man, I'm going to try to, push forward, do whatever I can. So I asked her, I was like, do you still want to eat? And she's like, yeah, I'm hungry. I said, all right, that's it. I'm cooking. I don't even care if I feel bad. So I made us some scrambled eggs with cheddar cheese and some salt and pepper. And I made us turkey bacon. And we were going to do either pancakes or waffles, but we realized we were out of maple syrup. And we're like, that would be some pretty dry stuff to have without any we didn't have any fruit, no syrup, like nothing to have with it. So it definitely would have sucked. So we didn't do that. We just had eggs and bacon, basically. And then basically we just spent some time together during the day. We exchanged gifts. All right. What gifts did I get this year? Well, I got 2 nice gifts from Kat. The first gift I got was a new day-by-day planner, which I love these things. Every year I use one of these. You guys have no idea because you don't see my office, but I have one on my desk. Every single year that I've done YouTube, I've had one of these, okay? Last year, Kat got me South Park. This year, she got me Peanuts, which I love the Peanuts. I love Charlie Brown and the gang, and this is cool because I have a Peanut comic every day. Plus, it has, little, like puzzles and stuff. So, give me a day-to-day planner. I love these, the tear-off calendars. And she got me a new electric razor. which, by God, I needed a new electric razor. All right. My old razor is over 5 years old. I got it right before I moved here, so I got it when I was still in Connecticut. And it's a really good razor, don't get me wrong. I love it. It shaves me really nice. But it's a rechargeable razor. The battery lasts 5 minutes. So, I'm not even kidding. When I shave, here's what I was doing. Shave half my face, razor dies, put it into the charger, get into the shower, take a shower with a half-shaven face, okay? Get out of the shower, shave the other half of my face, battery dies, put it back into the charger, dry my body off, get dressed, then use it to trim my beard. So it was like such an ordeal to even fucking shave at this point. Because my razor was so overused. You know, an electric rechargeable razor on average is meant to be used like 2 to 3 years tops, and I used mine for over 5. So it was totally shot. So she bought me a new rechargeable razor, a Braun razor that's really nice. I used to have a Braun back in the day, and it actually, surprisingly enough, over 10 years later, uses the same cleaning cartridges as they used to like 10 years ago, which is really bizarre, but they do. I've only had a chance to use it once so far, and because it didn't show up at Christmas, which sucked. She ordered it like a week and a half before Christmas. The fucking thing didn't show up until like 2 days after Christmas. That's with the Christmas shipping problems and everything. It took forever to get here. But I shaved it once. It was really good, smooth shave, and did no irritation on my neck, and lasted amazing. And the thing that blew me away, the beard trimmer that was on it, shaved my beard so well. I accidentally shaved my beard too short. I was like just thinking, oh, it's going to take forever because the old razor was a piece of crap at this point, and it wouldn't shave my beard at all. So I'm like, oh, it's just going to be, oh my God, I looked, I was like, oh God, I took a chunk out of it. Shit. So I ended up having to shave it way shorter than I had intended because I had accidentally gone too far in with the razor, which is pretty funny. So, that's what I got. What did Kat get? She got some nice stuff, and I'm not going to tell you what. I'm just being honest with you, because I just don't want people being dicks. And if I told you anything about Christmas presents or whatever, probably would use it against, let's make fun, let's do this. So, fuck off, those negative people. It is what it is. I'm not going to tell you what she got for Christmas. She got some nice stuff, but I'm not going to tell you because I don't want people fucking around and being dickheads, okay? Just being honest. So, there you go. So anyway. So, Christmas Day, we exchanged gifts, you know, that. And then, we wanted to do some baking. So, we did these Christmas festive cupcakes that have little, like, red and green candy pieces in them. And we iced them with cream cheese icing. And we put nonpareils on top. You might say, what the fuck is a nonpareil? I never even heard the term until we got these. They weren't sprinkles. They're little candy balls that are crunchy when you eat them. I guess they're called nonpareils. And, you know, put those on top of the icing, which was kind of fun. But, of course, they fucking went everywhere. Then for dinner. So, what we had planned for dinner is we wanted to have a big dinner, kind of like what we did on Thanksgiving. So, we would have leftovers, and we'd be able to eat it maybe 2-3 times during the week. Thanksgiving dinner was amazing, and we ended up eating it like 2-3 times, and it was actually a money saver for us. Christmas dinner didn't go as planned. Reason being, number one, we tried a kind of ham. We wanted to have like a Christmas ham, and we were looking for a ham that was like, basically we wanted something you could roast in the oven and would come out and have like flavor to it. We just didn't want a salty ham. We wanted a ham that would maybe have some kind of a glaze or some kind of a flavor where it has a taste or a tang or even sweetness to it. And we went to the store, and by the time that we went shopping for Christmas, all they had was like the salty hams, or they had this one that said it was Black Forest ham. Now, I know for a fact Black Forest ham has a coating on it that's made of caramel, because I've bought Black Forest ham before. The ham itself is still salty, but it has like a caramel coating that gives it a unique flavor, okay? So we got this, you know, roast ham, not huge, but like probably about this big, a few pounds, to bake in the oven. And Kat got the ingredients to make homemade mashed potatoes, and we got like just stovetop stuffing, you know, something quick for stuffing, stuff like that, and some corn, like a bag of corn to steam in the microwave and have some veggies with it too. So we start making this dinner and realize that, like, because I'm sick, this is way more than we should have been doing, and it was hard to time everything to get everything ready. So like the mashed potatoes we tried to rush and then ended up didn't cook the potatoes long enough. So here I am trying to pound these potatoes with a meat tenderizer because I don't have a mashed potato maker. So I'm pounding these hard potatoes with a meat tenderizer, trying to get them to break up so we can make mashed potatoes because we didn't cook them long enough. And in the meantime, Kat's rushing to try to make everything quickly. We go to put the ham in the oven. The ham has no fucking instructions on it on how to do it. I'm like, have you ever bought anything at a grocery store before? Any kind of a roast that's meant to be made in your oven that doesn't tell you how long to cook it or what temperature. So I just guessed. I said, I don't know, 400 degrees, 30 minutes. Let's see. So we put it in, take it off to 30 minutes, fucking cold. Put it in for another 20 minutes, take it out, it's fucking cold. And it's like, oh my God, this is a disaster. Like, how long are you going to fucking wait? 2 hours to make a fucking ham that's... By the way, the ham was already pre-made, pre-cooked. It just needed to be warmed, and we couldn't fucking get the goddamn thing warm. So, it was basically just a nightmare, all right? And then, to make matters worse, when we finally go to eat the ham, it's salty as fuck. It's like pure salt. All you could taste was salt. You couldn't taste anything else. The caramel coating my ass, even though it did have a caramel coating, it tasted like nothing. I couldn't taste it at all. All we tasted was salt. So we were so disappointed because we had done all this work. And after like 2 hours of cooking, we go to sit down. The stuffing was good. Everything else was like a disaster. So, it kind of sucked. If I had been feeling better, maybe it would have gone better. But because I wasn't feeling so good, really it was kind of a rush job, like a rush effort to get everything to go. And I wasn't really able to focus in like I would have liked, which sucks. But I guess that's it. It is what it is, right? So it is what it is, and, that was our Christmas. Then after that, later on, we did watch The Muppet Christmas Carol. Was the big one that Kat had wanted to watch it all month, and I told her, but I love The Muppet Christmas Carol. It's like one of my favorite, if not my favorite Christmas thing to watch. Let's watch that on Christmas. So we ended up watching The Muppet Christmas Carol on Christmas, and it was so funny. So The Muppet Christmas Carol ends, and Kat goes, all right, that's it, we're done with Christmas. I was like, huh? She's like, that's it. She's like, you have to understand, I hear Christmas music all day. I see, Christmas everywhere I go. When I'm driving to work, it's Christmas. Everything's fucking Christmas. Christmas is great. Christmas is over. Like, okay, Christmas is officially over. So, we watched the Christmas Carol, and that was the end of our Christmas. And since then, now we've been watching we've been watching, this new show. She found this show on Hulu that was from National Geographic. It's a show about like a pet hospital. We've been watching that. We've been watching Rugrats, of all things, right? A cartoon from, like, everyone's youth, Rugrats. We've been watching that. It's funny to watch shows from your youth back as an adult, and you see all these adult references you didn't get when you were a kid, and we're watching, like, wow, look at all these huge adult references. It makes sense why adults liked that show, because it actually has all these parenting references and stuff in it. So, yeah, so we've been watching that, and basically completely Christmased out. That's it. Christmas is over, right? Now, we haven't taken down any of the decorations or anything. More than likely, in the next 1 to 2 weeks, we'll try to find time to take down all the Christmas decorations. But I don't know if we'll rush to do it or not. The house looks great. So maybe we'll just leave it for a few more weeks or whatever. But that was our Christmas anyway. Then, I basically laid around suffering for days. You guys remember on Wednesday night, I tried to stream Minecraft, and I sounded absolutely fucking horrible when I did it, even though I really wanted to tough it out and do it anyway. People were like, Phil, you sound awful. Why are you streaming if you sound awful? I'm like, the whole time I was sick, people demanded that I come back to stream. Then I come back to stream and people tell me I sound awful. Why am I streaming? Okay. But anyway, I just didn't really feel up to doing anything until, a day or two ago. When finally I said, I'm just going to try and do my best. And I came back. I still sound congested and terrible. But that was kind of my Christmas, that was kind of my Christmas stuff going on this week, okay? So, first of all, a bunch of people cheered. I just want to give shout-outs to Archangel, The Pwn Cake, Deadly Target, Rave Comic, and The Fall of Adam, who all cheered during that segment. I'm not going to read out all your messages because I don't want this to turn into a Q&A show at this point. But what I will ask is this, okay? How did you spend your Christmas? And I really would love to hear this. Like, what did you do? Was it anything interesting or fun? Who did you spend your Christmas with? Let's say this first of all, because I want to get feedback from the stream chat. Okay, Christmas Eve. What did you do on Christmas Eve? Were you with family and friends, or were you by yourself? Did you go out to eat, or did you make food at home? And what did you have to eat on Christmas Eve? So if you're here, right now live on stream, I'd love to hear your feedback. Christmas Eve, what did you do? Who were you with? And what did you eat? Let's see what people have to say here. I did nothing. I was working. I worked. Sounds like a common theme these days, doesn't it? I was at work. I had Polish food with my uncle's family, pierogies and kibasi. I love that stuff. That's something my mom used to make, pierogies and kibasi. So I'm right up that alley. I love that stuff. We had a traditional Scottish Christmas and got wrecked by 1 p.m. I was with my girlfriend's family. They're not as many, so we spent it with them since she lost her father a couple years back. That's sad. Sorry to hear that. Spent a Christmas in Cocaine Haze. I had goose, a Christmas goose. That's cool. I've never had goose ever. So I don't even know what goose tastes like, but, that's another traditional Christmas thing. I barely remember, but I think I had chili cheese tater tots. Spent my Christmas going to Disney Springs and playing the Kingdom Hearts demo. I did art commissions and then went to the Magic Kingdom. Well, that's a very unique Christmas. Christmas Eve was normal. I ate fast food. Christmas Day is when you're supposed to cook everything. I sat at home and hung out because I was off of work. So my Christmas with my friend who was a big addict and was looking around for weed. Oh my god. Went to the family. My father had a potluck and I made a King's Ranch casserole. That sounds interesting. That sounds pretty good. I had a KFC date on Christmas Eve, as one does. Ah, that's another thing. In Japan, on Christmas, it's a big thing to get KFC. So that's interesting. Some people got KFC. So no one really did nothing too major, although some people sound like they had like a traditional family Christmas Eve dinner. Goose, that's a good one, man. All right. So now let me ask you this. On Christmas Day, what did everyone get for Christmas this year? This will be interesting to hear because every year it's something completely different. I got this calendar and an electric razor. What did you guys get for Christmas this year? This I want to hear. This will be interesting. Lucifer Soul tipped me $5, said I was stuck at work for some reason. I had more people yell at me on Christmas because they were busy more than any other day. That's to be expected. Here we go. Hold on. People are starting to come in with their answers. I got clothes. A mic, a microphone. A PS4 Pro and a 65-inch 4K TV. Holy shit. That's a good haul. Chocolate clothing. 2 bags of M&Ms. A Visa gift card, but I'm not sure what to do with it. Turkey, Brussels, stuffing, roast potatoes on Christmas Day, not Eve. Well, that's food. My parents bought me a pony. Yeah, right. A card and $50. I spent time with family on Christmas Eve and ate Chinese that day. After that, I played 3 new games I got for Christmas, which is Darksiders 3, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Spider-Man. That's cool. Derek got an Amazon Echo. That's the, for those who don't know, that's the standalone microphone and speaker that uses Amazon's Alexa to do voice commands. So if you have like an Amazon Fire Stick on your TV, you could tell that to, play A Christmas Story, and it'll find it somewhere and play the movie for you automatically. And it'll do stuff around your house if you sync it too, which is kind of interesting. Items for my fish tank. But then the fish drowned on Christmas Day. Oh, come on now. That's ridiculous. Fish drowned? Okay. Yeah, I'll believe that. I got a Dovo straight razor. Says Sirmones a lot. That's cool. Someone bought me deodorant. Low-key saying I stink. Wow. Well, that's messed up. Popsicolo says he got an official Red Ryder carbine action 200 shot range model air rifle with a compass in the stock and this thing that tells time. That's cool. Still Stream 42 says I got a $20 Steam gift card, which is like 10 games for the winter sale. Kate says she got a ring for Christmas. Call Me Thick Daddy says I got the Braun 7 Series Razor. Congrats. Insomniatic Meat cheered. Says got me a PS4 Pro. Says I already have a 4K TV. Tupac for Life says Red Dead Redemption 2, $20 Dunkin' Donuts gift card, Levi's jeans, Abercrombie & Fitch button-down shirt. Not bad. Decent haul. My friend gave me a keyring with Dr. Eggman, and he loved it. Wait, I gave my friend a keyring with Dr. Eggman, and he loved it. I read that completely backwards. There you go. Cool. All right. So that's nice. That's nice to hear. So Christmas is over, right? And it kind of sucks. I mean, honestly, for me, I feel like I kind of missed it. Even though I was here and I spent all this time with Kat, I feel like I kind of wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks when you're that sick. Because even though I spent a lot of time with her, I don't feel like I was present. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't right there with her. I felt like I was more in a haze half the time. And I was like that for almost the whole week. And that really sucks because I'd say it wasn't until this Friday that I finally kind of felt like myself and had a good day out with Kat. And that sucks. That really does suck. And even then, I couldn't sleep Friday night, and then Saturday I couldn't stream because I felt like shit again. So, you know, it is what it is. And no, the Poke says, was there a way to send you gifts like a P.O. box? No. I don't just accept people sending me random shit anymore. At one point I did, when people were nice to me and they would send me nice things, then people started sending me really nasty stuff, and I said, that's enough of that. So, no, I don't just accept random stuff, so no worries there. You didn't miss out on anything. So, it is what it is. Christmas is over. Like I said, as of, you know, the end of today, the Christmas decorations will be going down, waiting for next year to come around. Apologies to everyone. One thing I do want to say, apologies about the holiday marathon for those who were here, because the bottom line is this. You guys know what I've been going through this year, all right? You've been here every step of the way. You know what I'm going through financially and everything, and that right now I am in jeopardy of next year not being able to pay my taxes, losing this house, having to sell it basically to pay the taxes, and it's not a good time. It's not. And all of that really got to me during that holiday gaming marathon, when normally I was expecting people to come out and be festive and excited and contribute and be like, wow, this is a great event. That's how they were last year, okay? And this year, people were basically telling me, wow, this event kind of sucks. The games Phil's playing are entertaining. You know, he's trying to be Bob Ross during Street Fighter to try to make it better, and it's not very good. And basically, I'm just seeing everyone having a bad time. And it did. It made me, like, I was drinking at the time, too. It made me just feel really down and negative. And the thing is, when you're drinking and you start to feel negative, that's when you need to stop drinking. Just for a forewarning for everyone out there. Maybe you're not a big drinker and you haven't drank many times in your life, or maybe you're looking forward to being of age to drink or whatever. If you're drinking and you start feeling like sad or depressed, stop. Because alcohol is a depressant. And what it will do is accentuate that feeling. It will make it exponentially grow to the point where you will feel awful and worse and worse. And I'm glad that I stopped when I did, because if I kept drinking, I might have ended up feeling worse and worse and worse and worse, to the point where, I mean, I've had depression in the past. Thank God I didn't get, like, super depressed and shit. That would have been a disaster, okay? Especially for Christmas week and everything. So, for me, that was a bad thing. And, you know, I was planning on, you know, this event to be a festive, fun, positive thing for everyone. And a lot of people, the feedback they got me was it was good. And then all of a sudden that happened, and it kind of dampened the whole thing. And I agree. And then, you know, oh, I'm going to come back strong this week and make up for it. And then I'm sick, you know. It just kind of compounds everything on top of everything, you know. It sucks. So, again, I want to apologize for how shitty that went. Apologies that I couldn't do the Christmas Eve podcast right after. And now, like I said, I missed out on a whole week of work. that I needed that money to pay bills this next coming week. I mean, the bills start coming due tomorrow, and I don't even know what I'm going to do. Like, being very honest with all of you, it sucks for me. Like, it's a really bad situation. I guess I just got to do whatever I can, all right? But I'm going to talk about that. There's another segment to talk about that, so I'm not going to get ahead of myself here, okay? A couple of cheers, and then what I want to do, I want to talk about Infinity War, and then I want to take a break, so that way I can give my throat a rest, and all of us can take a little break here to go, use the restroom or whatever. But what I want to do, a couple shout-outs here. Let's see. Call Me Thick Daddy says, you still have tonight, New Year's. I heard Times Square is going to be pretty lit. Yeah, I don't live in Times Square, anywhere near it. And like I said, Kat has to work anyway, so there's not much I can do about that. Martin Murphy did a 100-bit cheer. Thank you. And the Pone Cake cheered. He says, alcohol works differently for everyone else. You'd have a whole party of depressed people. I hope you feel better now. Yeah, and the thing is, liquor doesn't necessarily always make me, feel down at all. It's actually not really. If anything, a lot of the times when I have a drink, it'll actually make me feel relaxed. Like, it takes the stress out of me. It makes me actually feel, at ease. And I don't necessarily have to worry about these things that are constantly fucking in my head. They kind of makes that stress go away if I have a drink. But it was the opposite because I was already stressed during that Christmas event. And it just made the stress compounded and made me feel even worse. So, sometimes that happens, okay? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the Christmas segment. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing your holiday stuff with me. Let's move on. So, one of the biggest movies, of course, of 2018 was Avengers Infinity War. And, of course, all year everyone asked me, did I see this movie? And the answer I kept telling everyone was no. I didn't see any movies. I don't think I went to the movies once in 2018 to see a movie. Everything was at home because I didn't have a lot of money this year, I didn't have money to go blow on this kind of stuff. And, some people even offered, we'll pay you to go see it. And I was like, no, I got to work. That's the other thing. Time away from streaming to go watch a movie is time that I need to make money. So I never saw it. Finally, it was made available on demand on Netflix this week. And I already knew the whole plot because I read spoilers online on purpose because I didn't want people trying to come into my streams and basically spoiling and doing shit like that. I'll just read the fucking plot synopsis for myself so I understand what they're doing with this movie, okay? I have mixed feelings about it. I definitely have mixed feelings about it. Now, I'm going to say this. For those of you who didn't see the movie, I'm talking about the movie. There will be spoilers, okay? So if you don't want to hear spoilers about this movie, go take a break. What I'm going to do is talk about Infinity War, then take a break on the stream, so you could just go away until I come back from break, okay? But I don't want anyone who hasn't seen Infinity War to be spoiled. If you're watching the video on YouTube, this segment will be about Infinity War. You'll want to skip it, okay? There will be spoilers. Spoiler alert. Okay, I think I've given enough of a spoiler alert, all right? So, first thing, I really liked the action sequences in this movie. They were very well choreographed and designed, although every single one of them was CGI. You guys know how I feel about CGI. I don't like movies that are all CGI. And it was sad because the very first scene, Thanos is holding a guy who's supposed to be a human writhing in pain, and you could tell he's just a fucking CGI model. It's, I hate that shit. They couldn't superimpose a human to make it look realistic. No, it's CGI and it looks like shit. So what I don't get about these movies, really well written dialogue, intricate plot, great acting, and then the CGI sequence looks like shit. It pisses me off. Okay? But I did actually like the combat, seeing some of these action sequences, the first action sequence in New York City, where you got Doctor Strange and what's his name? Is his name Wang or whatever? His friend, fighting. I forget his name too. Oh God, I can't remember the guy who has the telekinetic powers. And really cool fight where they're using magic versus his powers, and they're throwing these objects around, and then zoom to the other side of town where Iron Man and Spider-Man are fighting you know, the big roided dude. Really cool fight. And really well done, in my opinion. Is it Wang? It's Wong. I was off by one letter. It's Wong, not Wang. My bad. So it was Wong and Doctor Strange fighting what's his face. I don't think anyone even knows their fucking names. I know they're part of the Black Order. Like, you know what? Hold on. I'll tell you their names right now. Want to know why? Because they're all in my mobile game. They're all characters in my mobile game, Marvel Future Fight, that's booting up right now. And no, I'm not paid for a plug. This is a mobile game I played for years. So I have them all. I can tell you their real names. Hold on. I think the big guy's name was like Obsidian Cull or something like that. I know the woman's name is Proxima Midnight. They're all part of the Black Order, who's supposed to be an elite group of aliens that fight for Thanos. So Corvus Glaive was the dude with the double spear. Cull Obsidian was the name of the big roided dude, basically. Yeah, Proxima Midnight was the chick. And then the telekinetic guy was Ebony Maw. Okay, there you go. So I thought the fights with them were actually really good and well choreographed, and I actually really enjoyed that. The final fight, I thought, was 100% a ripoff of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Like, that fight was meant to emulate that fight where, oh, look, it's an army of enemies, and they're trying to break the defenses, and then they find a way to break the defenses, and then the heroes come out, and there's a big epic showdown, and look, they're competing to kill the enemies, much like how Gimli and Legolas were competing to kill the enemies. Now the heroes are competing to kill the enemies, and everything's going on there, and then all of a sudden, to the rescue, someone shows up at the last minute. In this case, it's Thor, shows up at the last minute to save them all. You see, it was like almost the same sequence. It felt like I was watching the same sequence a second time, okay? But anyway, I did, in general, enjoy the action sequences of the movie. Alright? I really enjoyed the dialogue. I enjoyed seeing all the Marvel characters from all these separate Marvel movies finally interacting together for once, which we hadn't seen. I thought it was odd that Ant-Man wasn't part of it, but I guess Ant-Man and the Wasp came out after this movie and explained why, what they were doing during it, or whatever. So that's why they weren't part of it. But for me, the dialogue was great, but the plot of this movie was all over the fucking place. Like, what I really hate about certain superhero movies these days is that I'll suspend my disbelief to a certain point, but I won't think that someone is so fucking dumb that they'll just ruin everything. Like, Star-Lord losing control when they have control of Thanos, and they could take the gauntlet off of him and maybe stop him. Oh, I can't control my human emotions. I'm so angsty. Let me ruin the whole thing for the entire universe. What the fuck? Like, seriously? It's so lame. Or, at the very end of the movie, so this is a big spoiler, when Thor comes to save the day with his magic axe, it was so lame because in the actual Infinity War storyline, there's an ultimate weapon. It's called the Ultimate Nullifier. And it's actually this cool plotline behind the scenes where Doctor Doom and Kang the Conqueror, two big ominous villains in the Marvel Universe, are teaming up, which is unprecedented. They're two really big villains in the Marvel Universe, team up behind the scenes of everything going on in the Infinity War to find the Ultimate Nullifier so they can stop Thanos, but they find it too late, and Thanos already has all the gems, or excuse me, not Thanos, Thanos isn't the villain of the Infinity War in the Marvel Comics, if you can believe it. But anyway, they finally get the Ultimate Nullifier. They shoot it at the guy who has the Infinity Gauntlet, and it doesn't work. So it's like a big build-up, and it doesn't actually do anything, okay? In this movie, Thor's goal is to get an axe. What? Why is this axe so powerful? Oh, because it was planned to be the weapon of a king. But the Asgardians are pussies. Like, they got their asses whooped by Thanos and the Black Order, so obviously the Asgardians weren't actually powerful in comparison to any of these Infinity Gems. So why couldn't they now make an axe that's more powerful than the Infinity Gems? It doesn't even make sense. Like, this is what I mean, like, plot holes like that piss me off, but, like, at the very end of the movie, Thor has a chance to kill Thanos and just save everyone. And what does he do? He throws the axe and hits him in the chest. You are a god. You have probably killed thousands, if not millions, of like enemies in your life, and you don't understand to kill someone. You hit them in the face, the head, the brain. You hit them in the chest. Like, you see what I mean? Like, it's just bad writing. If that's the case, it should have just been he threw the axe and missed. Because what was the point? You know? And that's what pisses me off about it. That really is what pisses me off about that stuff. So, anyway. So, some of the things, here's some questions that I have about the movie that were never answered during the course of watching the movie that pissed me off. First of all, why did Thanos wait until just now to attack and take all these stones? We've had 10 years of Marvel movies, right? We had, you know, situations where the Infinity Stones, were completely unguarded and never had any defenses on them whatsoever, and could have easily been taken by Thanos and any of these Black Order people at any point during this time. Only today does Thanos decide, it's the day that I've decided it's time to go out and do this. Like, it's so silly because there's no actual, like, thing that caused him to do it. It would have been like, okay, Thanos finally found out where all the gems are, so now he's going. That's not even the case. He knew where some of them were before. There were references to him knowing where there were in the past. Why didn't he get them then? Why is he now deciding to get them all in one movie? It just really doesn't make any sense. Like, he's like, it's just kind of silly. Now, some people will say, well, he just got the gauntlet. So what? You could still get the fucking stones first. Just don't use them, right? Because they say you need the Infinity Gauntlet to harness the power of the stones or they're uncontrollable. So just keep them in a fucking box then. You know? That's what everyone else... The Tesseract was literally a box with a fucking Infinity Stone in it. The Time Gem was a little amulet with the fucking Infinity Gem in it. So it's not like you couldn't have a way to store them. There's no explanation for it. All of a sudden, we decided to make a movie, and now Thanos is going to get all the gems. We couldn't do it in the last 10 years. It was too much of a chore. He was a little busy, you know. He wanted to make sure that all his favorite TV series ended and shit before he actually had to get to business. So it's kind of silly. Okay. Another thing about these movies that I never get is the perfect timing of everything. That makes no sense. Everything just aligns perfectly for this to happen. So in the movie, the Guardians of the Galaxy just happened to decide to go to Titan, Thanos' homeworld, so that there can be an interaction. Excuse me, I skipped a part. The Guardians of the Galaxy just happened to decide to go to nowhere to meet the Collector because they think the Collector has one of the Infinity Stones. Thanos just happens to be there at the time that they are so that he could just happen to kidnap Gamora because, hint, hint, plot exposition, later on in the movie, there'll be a point where Thanos needs Gamora for something, and if he didn't have her, the whole plot couldn't advance, right? And this is what gets me, is like, I hate when it's just poor writing. Oh, there's this Infinity Stone you can only get if you sacrifice the one thing that you love, and just by complete chance an hour earlier, Thanos ran into the one thing he loves. I hate that shit. Like, okay, what should have happened was Thanos went to the planet, runs into, spoiler, Red Skull. Red Skull says, you need to sacrifice that which you love. Okay, he has to go find the Guardians, fucks the Guardians up, kidnaps Gamora, goes back and gets the gem. Not, oh, by complete chance I happen to stumble into them, and now everything comes together. I hate that shit. Oh, and another thing. So this is hilarious too. Apparently Thanos has an insanely huge army of people, right? So if he has an insanely huge army of minions, why the fuck didn't he send the army out to get the gems previously? If he has thousands of minions that he could have sent out over the years to grab all these gems, why the fuck did he wait until a gem was in Wakanda and now he's going to send his army against the Wakandan defenses? You could have done it before, stupid. You know what I mean? And again, it really did feel like Lord of the Rings. Like, oh, in Lord of the Rings, they've been breeding orcs for generations so they could finally attack Gondor and try to take over the humans. And it felt like, oh, he's been training his minions for generations to finally take over Wakanda. It felt like they copied it. It really did to me. Like, it felt like a copy and paste from Lord of the Rings Return of the King. And that kind of pissed me off. Oh, and now the one big thing for me that, honestly, if they go this route, this is really going to annoy me, is it seems like they may have completely changed Thanos' motivations for everything he's doing. So, in the movie, it's explained that basically he used to be one of the head researchers, scientists on his world of Titan. And his world, just like Earth, was becoming overpopulated. The resources were becoming overextended to the point where there was no way that their planet was going to be able to sustain the amount of Titans that were living on this planet. And Thanos, as the head scientific researcher, told the people on his planet, the only way we can survive is to cull the population. Half of us need to die. So what we need to do is kill the weak half of the population to make it fair, and the survival of the fittest, the strongest survive, they keep the resources, and then we'll survive. But apparently his people didn't agree with him, and his whole planet was destroyed because they overused all the resources. There was a war, and the whole planet was destroyed, right? Okay, I get that. But now all of a sudden, I've decided I'll just do it to the whole universe. Since my people didn't listen to me, and our world got destroyed, I'm just going to find these infinity gems and destroy the whole fucking universe. Like, what? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, that's a terrible motivation. And to me, the motivation that he's using to do it is the motivation of Apocalypse. For those who are X-Men fans, Apocalypse was supposed to be an alien, okay, who's the origin of mutants on Earth. Apparently, Apocalypse was an alien who landed on Earth in Egypt, and they used his blood to put into other humans and made them the first mutants. And they became the chosen race, the ones who were going to be the inheritors of the Earth. And basically, Apocalypse's mentality was survival of the fittest. Only those who were the strong should survive. And he wanted to cull the humans and make it basically a planet of mutants, okay? And it was kind of the same thing. They turned Thanos into Apocalypse. It's the same exact reasoning that Apocalypse used to use in the X-Men comic books. And it's sad because that's not Thanos' motivation. Now, this is another spoiler. Even if you saw the movie, this is a new spoiler. All right? So I don't know if this is what they're going for, guys. And if they don't, I'll be very disappointed, because here's the true motivation of Thanos in Marvel Comics, okay? Thanos is the ultimate romance story. And basically what the point is, it doesn't matter how strong you are, it doesn't matter how omnipotent you are, that emotional feelings can still take you over, and the power of love or desire can take you over and make you do irrational things. And that was always the point of the Thanos storyline, was this was a guy who had everything. He had the ultimate power, and what did he do? He tried to get a girl. So in the actual plot line of Marvel Comics, of all things, Thanos falls in love with death. He actually wants to court death. And there's actually a line, and I forget which movie it is. It might be Avengers, or it might be Guardians. In one of the post-movie scenes, early on, the first time we ever really saw Thanos in the Marvel movies, his assistant says to him, oh, it seems like to finally go after these humans or these Avengers is to court death. And it's kind of like a nudge to the Marvel Comics, motivations that Thanos used to have. So Thanos, the only way Thanos could get Death's attention would be to kill a ton of people. So he got the Infinity Gems to kill almost everyone to get Death's attention and say, look, I'm omnipotent, notice me. Because otherwise, even with all the power and all the things and accomplishments he had done, he could never get Death to notice him. Now, you may be saying, that doesn't make sense. Death is what is Death? In the Marvel Universe, Death is a woman called Lady Death. And it's an actual creature, an entity, not just an ambiguous thing that happens to all living creatures, but it's actual thing that takes your life essence when you die. So he wants to court and basically be in a romantic relationship with Death, and getting the Infinity Stones is the only way he can get her attention, basically. Okay? Now, a lot of you may say this is lame. This is just the original plot line. And it seemed to me like building up, especially with that reference I said, to the court death reference they had said as like a little nudge to Marvel fans during one of the movies. I thought that's what they were going with. Then the movie comes out, I watch, I'm like, this is like shit. I don't want to hear that he wants to kill half the population because he thinks resources are going to run out. That's so lame. That's Apocalypse. That's not Thanos. That's Apocalypse. That's a different plot line from a different Marvel comic. And I'm okay with that if it was Apocalypse in this movie. It's not. And that kind of pissed me off, because I definitely wanted to see that plot line, and it didn't happen so far anyway. Now maybe it will. Maybe in the second half of Infinity War, which is Infinity War Endgame, Lady Death will show up. You got my attention, and blah blah blah. Because what actually happens in the comics is, Lady Death shows up and he does get Lady Death's attention, but basically she still won't be with him, and he's like, what the fuck do I have to do? And because he's so distracted, Nebula, which is one of his daughters, ends up stealing the gauntlet, and she becomes omnipotent for a short period of time until the heroes find a way to defeat her and trick her to get the gauntlet off of her, and then they win, basically. So Nebula is still alive in the movies. Now, is she going to turn evil and end up getting the gauntlet by the end of this? I don't know. For me, I think they're going a completely original plot line. I don't think they're going to go by the comics at all. I think it was interesting that they kept Tony Stark alive. Like, according to Doctor Strange's plan, it was worth giving the time gem up in order to save Tony Stark's life. So in the one possible future that Doctor Strange saw, Tony Stark must live. So obviously Tony Stark has some kind of major fucking influence on what's going to happen in this next movie. So I don't know. So someone just made a really good point. They said Thanos has gems. Oh, Cactus God says this. He says Thanos now has gems that could do anything. He could just make unlimited resources, therefore you wouldn't have to kill anyone, so his motivations make no fucking sense. I agree. Like, it's stupid. It really is stupid. Like, the movie makes no sense. When you really think about why did Thanos decide to attack now? Why are the heroes also fucking stupid? Why is Thanos doing this? His motivation is terrible. You see what I mean? Like, it seems like they wanted to make it more dumbed down, and when they did, it just doesn't make sense anymore. And that sucks because 10 years of culmination for these action scenes and interactions between the heroes, it was great, but the plot sucked. Like, I wish the plot was much better in execution, and so far, I didn't like the plot of Infinity War. So I'm hoping with Endgame, they flip it on its head and they fix it, but for now, I'm just kind of meh. I wasn't too impressed with it. Okay? Alright, so a few shout-outs here. Your boy Bob did a 401-bit cheer and said, Happy New Year, mate. Thank you, your boy Bob. In fact, your boy Bob is now the top cheerer. Let's get him up on the leaderboard here. $401? Yeah, 401. Very good. The Pone Cake cheered and said, what would you do if you had the gauntlet and the Power Stones? You don't want to know. Cats Like Jake cheers said, Thor wanted Thanos to know who killed him as a big fuck you and to get his revenge. Right. He's a stupid hero. So Peter Quill's a stupid hero because they've got Thanos defeated. They're going to take the gauntlet off of him, but he can't control his human emotions and rage, and he lets Thanos get free. Thor has Thanos defeated, could easily just chop his fucking head off, but instead goes for the chest so he could say, oh, I killed you, and then it doesn't work. Stupid heroes doing stupid things. That's why they always lose. I hate that. Ruby Atomic cheered and says, well, the writers had to condense 10 years of lore into 2 hours. I think that justifies some short footing. The amount of characters in the film to juggle and give them all equal time is incredibly complex, so I never questioned it. The task itself is colossal in size. Yeah, and you know what? I would actually say that in regards to all of the characters, I actually think the one Marvel character that got the short end of the stick was Black Panther. Like, even though he's in the movie, barely has any impact. Besides commanding Wakanda to defend a stone. Outside of that, he barely does anything. But he had just had a very popular movie that was all about him. So maybe that's why they decided that, to make him a minor character. Because he just had his own fucking movie. But, you know, and then Captain America, he's cool in the movie, but, like, he really doesn't have much impact either. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the heroes, you can't really use them that much. Because there's too many heroes in one movie. What I liked in the original Infinity Gauntlet of Marvel was that there was almost like every hero stepped up to face Thanos. Thanos was like, listen, I'm badass and omnipotent. None of you can fuck with me. I'll let you all come and face me one by one. Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, all stepping up, trying to fight him. No one could beat him. And that was the cool thing. Like, he proved he was the ultimate badass, and it was himself that caused himself to lose. He had won. There was no way Thanos was going to lose. It was his own fault that he was defeated in the comics. So that's what I would have liked to have happened here. But sadly, now we have an omnipotent axe that hurts him. Okay, whatever you say. Thank you to 764 Vinicio for a resub, 3-month resub. And then I go on fishing, as did Kat, see the Avengers too. No, I actually watched it while she was at work. She's not interested in the Marvel Universe, Marvel movies or anything, so. Okay. Ridley Atomic says, wasn't there a second Infinity War in the comics? There were 3. There was Infinity Gauntlet. That was the original storyline where Thanos gets the gems, gets the gauntlet, and becomes omnipotent. Then there was Infinity War, where a new entity sought to reform the Infinity Gems into a gauntlet. And then there was Infinity Crusade, and that one got religious. And that one a lot of people hated because it added religious overtones, and a lot of people were like, what the fuck are they doing that for? I actually read some of that one, and I didn't even really like it that much. So there were 3 Infinity events in the Marvel Comics. I don't, at least during the 90s, I don't know if they did another one after that, but during the 90s there were 3. So okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so far. It's been about an hour. Let's take a break, all right? If you're watching live on stream, I'm going to take about a 15-minute break here to try to recuperate my voice and stop choking. If you're Jesus Christ. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll split it. I'll do multiple parts for this podcast. The next segment will be about the 2018 recap, all right? I'll talk about personally and professionally how things went in 2018, and it should be an interesting segment, to say the least. There's a lot to talk about, okay? All right, guys, let's take a break. Thanks so far, everyone, for your contributions. All right, when we come back, another segment. Thanks, everyone, and see you in a few minutes.